Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and we're doing Christmas. We had gotten 2 of these wooden spools at the dump some time back, and I had already done a few items that I flipped with those, and I purchased some cute decoupage paper on Etsy. And I just love it with the birds in the winter time. So I deconstructed that spool. I'll use that centerpiece hopefully in my next video. And I took the wooden pieces outside and gave them a good sanding and smoothed out the edges so that I would be able to do that without splinters. And then I went ahead and just gave it 2 coats of the white chalked paint. Then I took the decoupage paper, wet my paintbrush, went around the edges of the pictures that I wanted to use for this, and just tore it because this paper is a little more fibrous and I like that raw edge. So once that was completely dry, I took out the Mod Podge and applied both of the pictures that I wanted to use onto the little piece of wood round with the decoupage underneath and on top of both of these cute little birds, and gave it a fairly generous amount of decoupage because, if it's going to be used as a riser or something, it could potentially, have stuff on it, spill, what have you. So that way it is well protected. And then I took out one of the stencils that I had purchased last year, and more of a teal blue color that I thought would be pretty with this. And then I just took a small stencil brush and stenciled on that. The bottom, I just did Christmas in that green, blue, teal color. And then on the top, I mixed 2 colors together because the birds have almost an orangey red. And so I took a little bit of an orange color and some red. I mixed them together to get the color that I was looking for. And then I went ahead and stenciled Mary at the top of that. And I think it came out really cute. I took some wine corks that I had gotten at the dump. I went ahead and put that on there, a little bit of antiquing wax. I sprayed Rust-Oleum clear coat over the whole thing. And here it is, all done, a cute little Christmas riser. So I think that it came out very sweet. It's nice and small. And on to number 2. Now, I had purchased earlier in the summer a bunch of baskets for about $1 a piece at an auction. And I did this blue one. Today I'm going to do the white one. They're both almost identical. You may remember that I had taken the blue one and I painted it in a pale, almost mint green. And I wrapped fabric on the handle and made some matching fabric pumpkins. But today I'm taking this Venus teal color that I got at Home Depot from Bear. And I am going to paint the entire basket with 2 coats of that teal blue. And once that is dry, I took some antiquing wax and a large wax brush and waxed the handle and just the bottom section of the basket to give it a 2-tone look. I had a runner in my bedroom that has this color in it that kind of was my inspiration. I like that look. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time that I am doing this. Never works. And then that was really pretty much all that I did to this. I wiped that back and till I got the color that I was looking for in that 2-tone antiquing look on that basket. Here's the runner underneath. That was my inspiration. And I thought it would be a very pretty Christmas gift for somebody for just a picnic idea or beach gift item. And then that takes me on to item number 3. My husband picked up this very dirty sign at the good table at the dump. And I had to give it a really good cleaning. I did spray it with a Rust-Oleum gray paint and then found out that the letters were sort of raised. So then I had to take it downstairs and give it a good sanding because you can't really use it if it's raised letters. You got to sand those down. And then I painted that with 2 coats of the white chalked paint, took it back outside and sanded and distressed the edges and just gave it the look that I like. And then I'm going to take my time showing you how I'm using these stencils that I got in that same pack last year because I think these trees came out out really, really lovely. And I know a lot of times people sort of stencil an entire item like kind of all one color, and so here's a way that you can get it to look more natural. So just take that, offload it, and then go around the outside edges of your stencil with the darker, and then barely go into the center, especially when you're doing something like a tree. And this has a lot of detail on this stencil, which I love. It really makes it look like a real tree. Now I do some dark. You can see where I kind of put some extra dark just here and there, and at first you're like, okay, that's gonna look terrible, and then I just go in the center a little bit, but look at how awesome it ends up looking. A lot more natural, paler in the center. Now I had this other one that came with it, and I decided to get creative and use the large Christmas tree that was in the back of the truck. And I did the same thing, really dark around the edge, kind of here and there in the center, but not the whole center. And did both of those Christmas trees, one on either side. And then once I have those done, I flipped the stencil up backwards so that that missing piece of tree that would be the back of the truck, I could fill in with the other side, and just sort of matched it up somewhat and gave that stencil a more complete look. So the tree looks finished. And then when I was finished with that, I just freehand a little bit at the base of that tree to fill that in. And I really love the way that these trees came out. And then I wanted to just add a little bit of snow. And so I put the stencil back on. I took a little small brush and then just kind of put a little bit more white, and then went over here and there just to give it the look of some snow on the branches. And you can see I don't put it everywhere. I just kind of drop it here and there. And then I added a little bit of snow at the base of the trees, and decided to use some of the other wording in a couple of the different stencils that came in that pack to fill in this sign with some red lettering. I think the entire pack of about 10 stencils was $12, so it was worthwhile getting that. I believe we got that on Amazon, and I've used it a number of times for different things, but this time I really wanted to mix and match a couple of different ones. So after I did the red letters, I took out my IOD Farmhouse, I believe it's called, the Farmhouse letters, and the Stays on ink, and inked up Christmas. Now, of course, you need 2 S's, so now, if you wanted to do something like this, I do recommend that you do whatever you want underneath first, and then do your letters on top of that once that's all dry. And that way, you can actually read the letters. So once I got Christmas on there, I just went ahead, took the rest of that off, and then spelled out trees. Now, when I did trees, I used the F as a placeholder where the E, since there's 2 E's, where the E would be, and then I just removed it just so that I would be able to have the right amount of space between those 2. Now, once I finished with that, I decided that I wanted to add some more trees, but I didn't know exactly yet where those words were going to end. So after I got the letters on, I took that stencil back out again with the 3 smaller trees and painted both the right and left side with those set of 3 Christmas trees on either side, just to give that a little bit more on either end, and put another little red word at the bottom to complete this. Now, once I have this completely dry, I could simply take poly and spray that over it because it is chalked paint. And once I, am done with that, I can, leave it as is. But I am not a fan of the bright white, so I prefer that antiquing look. So what I did was take Waverly Dark Antiquing Wax, and I mixed it with a little bit of clear wax so that it wouldn't be too dark. And then I just mixed those two together and took a paper towel and just added that mostly around the outside edges to pick up that part that I had sanded and just give that a real nice aged look. I tended to stay away from the center because this is still a fairly dark wax. And then I hit the spots that I had sanded in the center here and there, but primarily left that and took a rag and wiped that whole thing down. And then I did polyurethane this just in case it ever ends up outside. And I think that it came out quite lovely. You will have to let me know what you think about this one. Now, that takes me on to item number 4. And that is a very quick, simple little wreath that I was making for Christmas to go with another wreath I had made in a previous video. So I will link all of the other similar videos in the description box if you're interested in seeing any of the ones that are somewhat similar to what I have here. Now, I just had a simple metal wreath form that I had in my stash. And I had these really tall white winter branches that I had gotten when AC Moore went out of business, and I've had them for years with the berries and the poinsettias that I'm going to use on this, but they take up a lot of room because they were like 4 feet tall, and I just wanted to, and most of that was the stem, I wanted to eliminate all that bulk and the need to store it. So I did just go ahead with some wire and added the white branches. They're very flexible and they look snowy, and I've just put them around it, and then I added the berries that I had bought with them here and there and did the same thing, just fluffing them out, adding them on with wire so that I could eliminate that in the future if I ever wanted to use it for something else. Glue on the leaves and the poinsettia at the bottom of this, and a couple of the little berries. The bulk of this is just wired on. And here it is on my barn door, which I love, and I think that it came out really nice. I like these non-traditional colors for Christmas. And then I had on the other opposite side this little wreath that I had made a month or so ago in a different video, but they are very similar in color tone. That one was on a grapevine wreath. So let me know what you think about these colors and what you think about these Christmas items. I do have several other ideas for Christmas ornaments and a few other things coming up, so I hope you'll stick around. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love it if you haven't subscribed, if you would, and please share with a friend. That helps my channel grow. And thank you so much for stopping by. I so appreciate you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.